NMU releases information about FOIA controversy.
And the latest on Michigan gasoline prices. I'm Caleb Scanlon.
And I'm Maddie Brinker, and welcome to Public Eye News. Northern Michigan University has released information about current FOIA controversy with the North Wind newspaper. University President Fritz Erickson asked for the Freedom of Information Act $300 charge to be waived and the requested materials be given to the North Wind. The North Wind is an independent student publication funded through NMU and advertising revenue. The university wants to demonstrate their commitment to a transparent administration, establish cooperative working relations, and minimization of any further misunderstandings. The decision to ask the North Wind to cover the charge was in response to the paper's earlier FOIA request to visually inspect almost 9,000 pages of computer serial numbers. However, the North Wind declined to inspect a digital copy, asking for an administrative employee to spend hours copying pages that were not used. The university says, quote, "As a state university, we are very conscious of budget dollars. Our goal is to work with all media outlets, especially the North Wind. We will always provide information covered by FOIA," end quote. The Ishpeming Department of Public Works announced Malton Road's closure for January 20th. The closure is due to maintenance on overhead utility installation. Malton Road will be closed from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. between Business Route 28 and Malton Electric. Any questions and concerns may be brought to the City of Ishpeming Department of Public Works.
Gasoline prices continue to decline in Michigan. Auto Club AAA reports statewide averages have dropped 2 cents per gallon within the past week. This marks the third consecutive week that the statewide average price has remained below $2. Close to 3,000 gas stations throughout Michigan are considered in the poll, where the lowest price is found in the Detroit area, while Marquette and Traverse City were at the top. The statewide average is $1.36 lower than it was a year ago. A new and exciting educational opportunity is coming to students in Marquette and Alger counties. Technical Middle College is a collaboration between Eagle Mine, Marquette, Alger, RISA, local school districts, and Northern Michigan University. This will allow for high school students to earn their high school diploma as well as an associate's degree for free. Funding for the Technical Middle College will mainly come from the state, with additional support from Eagle Mine. Degrees for students will be offered in 6 different areas.
The first Abu Dhabi Solar Challenge started last Thursday. Teens from 6 continents competed in a 745-mile race in solar-powered cars students designed and built. In the previous year, University of Michigan's car was just 2.5 minutes in front of Abu Dhabi University's vehicle. This year, University of Michigan students partnered with Abu Dhabi University to win the competition across the United Arab Emirates. The team's vehicle, named Quantum, won its 6th national title in a row this year. With the retirements of more moderate Republican lawmakers, Wisconsin's State Assembly hopes their Senate's new members will pass a bill making highway speed limits 70 miles per hour. Last year, senators declined the 5-mile-per-hour race. Both houses then and now were controlled by Republicans. Representative Paul Tittle tells Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, "It's time Wisconsin follow its neighbors, which have a maximum speed of 70 miles per hour or higher." Senator Jerry Petrowski, and chairman of the Senate Transportation Committee, says the bill can come down to safety issues. And after the break, we'll have your national and international news. Stay tuned.
I would love to know more about who she was.
Genealogy Roadshow comes to St. Louis.
You ready? Yep.
To unlock family mysteries.
I just never knew anything about my father.
Answer lifelong questions.
No way.
My mother kept that secret her entire life.
And reveal the surprises in every family tree.
What? I feel like I have these new roots that I never could have imagined.
On the next Genealogy Roadshow.
Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Welcome back. According to the Cameroon military, close to 30 of the hostages abducted over the weekend by the Nigerian militant group Boko Haram have been freed. A military spokesman claims that more than 60 hostages escaped while others were freed after a gunfight between Boko Haram and the military. Some hostages were used as shields during the battle. Boko Haram is seeking to push Islamic Sharia law in Nigeria, the most populous nation in Africa. So far, the group has occupied villages roughly 150 miles from the border between Cameroon and Nigeria. Cameroon President Paul Biya called for international help against the extremists last week. Security remains high across Europe as leaders meet in Belgium today to find ways to reduce terror threats from hometown radicals. Marley Hall has the latest from London.
Hundreds of troops are on the streets in Belgium guarding potential terror targets. Security is especially tight at the U.S. Embassy and in Jewish neighborhoods. Police are on alert in eastern Verviers, where security forces killed 2 suspected terrorists last week. Authorities say they were planning a major attack. Police in Europe have arrested dozens of terror suspects since Islamic extremists murdered 17 people in Paris.
We will all be determined to do what is necessary to keep Europe safe from the terrorist threat.
Foreign ministers met in Brussels Monday. They're calling for an anti-terror alliance with Arab countries to share information and increase cooperation.
The threat is not only the one we faced in Paris, but also spreading in many other parts of the world.
In Pakistan and Afghanistan, thousands of Muslims continue to protest the French newspaper Charlie Hebdo's latest cartoon of the Prophet Muhammad. They burned the French flag and chanted death to France. In Europe, authorities in France and Germany have called off anti-Islamist demonstrations in an attempt to head off any further violence. Marley Hall, CBS News.
President Obama makes his State of the Union address tomorrow night, pitching tax increases for some of the wealthiest Americans. According to senior administration officials, Obama calls for this tax raise, as well as elimination of tax breaks on inheritance, to fund cost-saving measures for the middle class. Republican lawmakers indicated that they will oppose this plan. A spokesperson for House Speaker John Boehner calls Obama's plan, quote, the same old top-down approach. The manhunt ends for 2 teenage sweethearts suspected of a string of crimes that began in Kentucky and spread south. Omar Villafranca has more on the couple's arrest earlier this morning in Florida.
Police in Panama City Beach, Florida took 18-year-old Dalton Hayes along with his 13-year-old girlfriend Cheyenne Phillips into custody without incident shortly after midnight Sunday. They found the Kentucky teen sleeping in a pickup truck originally stolen in Georgia.
They weren't sure if anyone was in it, but so they sent an unmarked car to kind of look for it to see if anyone got in or out of it. They saw the brake lights come on, and that's when they called for multiple units.
Authorities say the couple stole 3 vehicles during a crime spree that began earlier this month in western Kentucky. They fled 2 days before Hayes was to appear in court on burglary and theft charges. While on the run, they were spotted in a South Carolina Walmart where police say they used stolen checks. There was concern the fugitives were armed because 2 handguns were left in one of the vehicles they were suspected of stealing. Hayes' mother says Phillips told her son she was 19 and that he was in love with her by the time he found out she was 13. Authorities plan to extradite the couple back to Kentucky to face burglary, theft, and other charges. Omar Villafranca, CBS News.
Jury selection is set to begin Tuesday in Denver to decide if James Holmes was insane when he killed 12 people in a Colorado movie theater. The trial is set to be focused on the mind of Holmes, who attorneys acknowledged was the gunman in the attack on July 12, 2012, but claim he was in the grip of a psychotic episode. At this time, Holmes has pleaded not guilty by reasons of insanity. If found not guilty, Holmes will be committed to a mental hospital. If found guilty, the jury will also need to decide whether to recommend the death penalty. And after the break, we'll have your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
Next time on Nature, shaped by environment and human hand.
Who let the dogs out?
Early dog became an explosion of breeds.
Shar-Pei is a lovely dog, but physically they're just a disaster.
Our choices have consequences.
Man and dog have had a very strong relationship, and that relationship now is in crisis.
Discover the fate of dogs that changed the world.
Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Georgia Breen with your weather. As you can see outside, it is snowing, but it is a beautiful day to go take a nice walk if you bundle up. The temperatures are around the 20 degrees, and we're going to be pretty steady for the next couple days. And the winds are out of the east at 4 miles per hour and a pressure of 29.98 inches and holding. And tomorrow will be mostly cloudy with a temperature of 10, and the winds, or tonight, I'm sorry about that, and the winds out of the southeast at 4 miles per hour. And tomorrow it'll be mostly cloudy with a temperature of 22 with the winds out of the southeast at 2 miles per hour. And let's take a look around the UP. In Sault Ste. Marie, they have some beautiful sun with a temperature of 11. In Manistee, it is 20 and sunny. In Escanaba, it is 22 and snowing. In Menominee, it is 24 and cloudy. Iron Mountain, 21 and cloudy. Ironwood, 23 and cloudy. And up in Houghton, it is 22 and snowing. And back here in Marquette, it's 22 and snowing. Let's take a look at the week ahead. On Wednesday, we're going to have a high of 27 and a low of 17 with a chance of snow showers. On Thursday, a high of 25 and a low of 12 and foggy conditions. And on Friday, a high of 27 and a low of 18 and mostly cloudy. So what about the Packers? I heard they're packing up.
Yes, Seattle beat them last night, and they're done until next season, so we'll see them in August. It was an exciting Sunday for NFL playoff action as NFC and AFC teams battled it out for a spot in the Super Bowl 49. The NFC matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers ended in an unbelievable fashion as the Packers built a 19-7 lead before stumbling in the fourth quarter for a 28-22 loss in overtime. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers battled a left calf sprain throughout the game, but it didn't seem to stop him from making plays early on. Aaron Rodgers said, quote, "We had some chances early, we had some chances late to do some things, and we didn't do it. I think at times we just weren't playing as aggressive as we usually are," end quote. After first half turnover struggles, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks rode their late momentum to win the game. With some big plays and a lucky onside kick recovery, the defending champs will return to the Super Bowl in hopes for a repeat. The dynamic duo of quarterback Tom Brady and head coach Bill Belichick of the New England Patriots are not first-timers that appear in the Super Bowl or playing for one. Just ask the Indianapolis Colts. Belichick and Brady earned their 6th trip to the big game, and Belichick got his 21st postseason win with the second most one-sided AFC championship ever by beating the Colts 45-7. Everything went New England's way Sunday, most notably their run game led by LeGarrette Blount with 148 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. The Patriots will face the defending champion Seahawks for the NFL title on February 1st in Glendale, Arizona. Oftentimes, good things seem to include a little bit of controversy, specifically in the New England blowout over the Colts. The NFL is currently investigating whether the Patriots used deflated balls in the game yesterday, an act that would ultimately help players control the ball better in wet conditions. NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy said this morning that he cannot provide any further information now regarding the incident, initially reported by an Indiana news crew following the game. The NFL rulebook says that it is the responsibility of the home team to furnish playable balls at all times and have each ball monitored before kickoff by officials. If balls were at all altered, the Patriots may face financial punishments.
It's kind of hard to say if, with a score like that a ball really is going to make that much of a difference.
Yeah, and there's a lot of precautions before the game. But in terms of New England, I heard there's a governor in New England, Rhode Island specifically, making news.
First man. Rhode Island now has its first gentleman. Andy Moffett is the husband of Gina Raimondo, who was sworn in as the state's first female governor earlier this month. The first gentleman says he'll be supporting his wife and focusing on their 2 children. Moffett says he sees this as a real opportunity to set an example for men. Josh Hara drinks a lot of coffee, but instead of throwing away a cup from Starbucks, he doodles cartoons on them. These drawings have created an online following frenzy that has grown so much that he has vowed to post at least 100 of them last year, which he completed. The drawings cover a wide range, including song lyrics, serious issues, and witty cartoons. It's really kind of cool stuff. I admire you to look it up. That's all the time we have for today. We'll see you tomorrow on Public Eye News.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.